Remember when Chris Pritchard used to post videos on a daily basis? He used to put out a show called the CPCN where he did like cycling news and things like that, but then he stopped because he's a bit of a dick. But now he's back with a one-off special. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Hepesh. Alright, we're back with another Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. It's been far too long. However, I will say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, do all the things that you need to do to make me feel very popular. And also, this is the last week, starting tomorrow, of the European leg of the Crank It Up Tour with Wahoo and Zwift, which means I'm going to be back in the office full-time next week producing bloody brilliant content. I'll be producing content. All right, so that means we're going to have more regular uploads on the channel. We're going to get back to some sort of semblance of normality here on the YouTube channel. I am working on different little ideas that I want to produce in terms of video content. So we might not be getting CPCN shows every single day, but they're definitely going to be part of that weekly schedule. Showtime, beige. All right, let's get straight into the news. And over the weekend, round 4 of the Telenet Super Prestige Cyclocross Series took place in Rode, somewhere in Belgium. Anyway, in the women's race, Selena Del Carmen Alvarado took the victory. She just led it from basically the start. Nobody could catch her. The current under-23 European champion won with a lead of 19 seconds over second place rider and the current world champion, Sana Khan. And in third position was the American national champion, Katie Compton. So that means in the overall standing, Selena Del Carmen Alvarado leads the way, 3 points ahead of second position, Yara Castellin, and then in third position is current world champion, Sana Khan with 43 points, 10 points behind the leader. All right, moving on to the men's elite now, and it was a welcome return, mainly for the fans, not necessarily for the riders taking part, of current world champion Mathieu van der Poel. He was back for his first cyclocross race this season. And as you'd expect, well, he wiped the floor with everybody. He beat second place rider Laurens Sweeck by 23 seconds. And in third place was Belgian national champion Toon Aerts, a further 13 seconds behind that second place rider. Now if we take a look at the overall standings, you can see that Mathieu van der Poel slides straight into 13th position with 15 points after that victory, but still leading the way on joint points. So it's very tight at the top. It's Toon Aerts and Laurens Sweeck. Third is Quentin Hermans, only 2 points behind, who's also in joint third position with Corne van Kessel. And then only a point behind them is Lars van der Haar, who was leading it prior to the start of this race. So, you know, if you're into cyclocross and you know how many rounds there are left and you know everything that's going on, you'll know that it's a bloody close championship, that. It really is. But if Van der Poel decides to race the rest of the rounds, chances are he's probably going to win it, isn't he? All right, sticking with racing news, over the weekend, the first World Cup race of the track season got underway in Minsk, which I think is in Belarus. Yeah, it's in Belarus. In Minsk, in Belarus, and it started with an absolute banger in the individual pursuit. All right, so prior to this World Cup starting, let me just fill you in with this bit of information. The current world record for the individual pursuit is 4 minutes and 5 seconds, .423, set at altitude more than 2,500 meters above sea level by Ashton Lamy of Team Hube Wattbike, the American dude with the cool tash, yeah? Right, we've got that. Well, that world record got smashed twice by the same guy. Unbelievable. So Filippo Ganna, in his heat, clocked a time of 4 minutes and 4 seconds, .252. That was on Sunday morning. So you know as well, right? Morning time, notoriously, you rarely get a decent time set in a morning because of air pressure, because of temperature. It just doesn't, you can't get the best conditions to be able to set a world record. So to be able to do that, bloody amazing, right? And not only that, it's at sea level. So he's broke a world record that was set way above the clouds, right? He's just broke that at sea level where the air is denser, thicker, and ultimately slower, right? But then he broke it again in the final. He went a further 2 seconds quicker and sets a brand new world record, a second and a half, at 4 minutes and 2.647. And already people are saying, right, when are we going to see the first sub 4 minute pursuit. And you can't help thinking, if this guy goes to altitude, trains all year for it, it's only a matter of time before he goes sub 4 minutes for an individual pursuit. Now, just to show you how impressive this time is, if we went back to 1993, I know some of you weren't even born back then, but back in 1993, the world record for the team pursuit, which includes 4 riders, right, was 4 minutes and 3 seconds, 0.840 set by the Australians. So he could have lined up back in 93 on his own, granted the equipment and all that jazz. Let's just speak hypothetically, just to try and make this impressive, right? If he were to line up against a team of 4 Australians back in 1993 on his current fitness, on his current equipment, he would have beat them. That's insane. All right, and sticking with track, did we see the unveiling of the brand new GB track bike? Hope and Lotus Engineering have collaborated to make this bike for Tokyo 2020 for the Team GB riders. What do we think though? Right, first things, leave 1-word answers down below to let me know what you think of this bike. Describe it in 1 word, do it. Now yeah, it looks funny from the side, it looks even funnier from the front, but there's no way that these people haven't spent God knows how many years developing this for it not to be a good chunk quicker than the current variation of track bikes. I'm not going to get into any technical jargon on this one, mainly because I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you can clearly see what they're trying to do is create a bigger distance between those forks and that wheel, because obviously there's a lot of turbulent air that goes in and around there. You've got a wheel spinning, you've got stationary. See, I already don't know what I'm talking about. Stationary forks. If you know why they've designed it like that, then leave your comments down below, but I do believe it has something to do with aerodynamics. Next up, and a news story that happened, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Mark Cavendish finally, I mean, we reported this months ago that there was talks of him going to Bahrain Merida, but it is now official. Mark Cavendish has signed for Bahrain Merida. And talking to the press, he said this: "Joining this team is a fulfillment of a long-held ambition for me and is super exciting and motivating." Sorry, what? You could even say a dream come true. Go on, Cav. Don't lie. Like, yeah, potentially working again with Rod Ellingworth, the man who was the mastermind behind his World Championship in 2011. But I don't think it's anybody's dream at the minute to ride for Bahrain Merida unless they're paying them Benjamins, all right? Look at Rowan Dennis. He wants to be anywhere but Bahrain Merida. And I'm not saying Cav's a diva because I mean, I don't know. But he'll definitely want the best equipment to try and fulfill his part of the bargain in terms of actually trying to win. And now I'm sure, you know, a team like Bahrain Merida are just happy to have Cav on their books to use him to promote the brand and the bikes and the team. But ultimately, he wants to go and win races. If the current world champion time trialist, Rowan Dennis, refuses to use equipment because it is inferior, when he's as good as he is compared to everybody else, Cav's going to struggle on a bike that doesn't help him win a sprint. But it is a lifelong dream of his to go and ride for a second-rate team on a second-rate bike and finish outside the top 20. I don't know. I don't know. Let's hope he doesn't, because Cav's career is almost over, right? And it would be nice to see him get a few victories. All right, and the final news story today is of Dr. Freeman, the ex-Team Ineos Team Sky doctor, who is facing doping charges over a delivery of testosterone that was delivered to the Manchester British Cycling headquarters. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Richard Freeman is the former British Cycling and Team Sky doctor, and he is currently facing a medical misconduct tribunal over allegations that he ordered a banned substance to be delivered to the British Cycling headquarters way back in 2011. In a written statement, Dr. Freeman admitted that he'd ordered the testosterone to the National Cycling Centre in Manchester, but denies that the product was intended for an athlete's use. Again, according to the Times, Dr. Freeman will claim that he ordered the testosterone for former British Cycling Technical Director Shane Sutton. However, Shane Sutton has denied any knowledge of this. Someone's in a lot of trouble. Are they using Dr. Freeman as a scapegoat at British cycling? Like, what the hell's going on here? He's clearly ordered them. I mean, why would you order them? If they were for an athlete, why would you order them to the Manchester British cycling headquarters if you were trying to hide them? He clearly knows more than he's admitting to, and I don't know why he feels the need to try and protect anybody, because according to him, you know, he's going through severe depression, losing his job. Is essentially his life is just undoing before his eyes. So why don't you just say, do you know what? I got that for free. That's why I won the Vuelta. I'm not saying that's happened, but could have. I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just saying, whatever the truth is, why don't you just let it out? No matter who it brings down with him, and we can get to the bottom of the case. All right, we're going to finish off the show with a quick question and answer. I would have gone through the comments, but there hasn't really been many mean comments that I can make fun of. So rather than go through the comments, question and answer over on the CPCN Instagram account, which will be reborn in the next few days. So let's get on with these Q&As. Have you ever done mountain biking? Yeah. What is the one cycling unwritten rule you won't break? Don't dope. I know. I won't double dip somebody else's chamois cream. It's just not the done thing. Good question here. Who do you think next year's Wonder Kid is going to be? I don't think there's going to be a Wonder Kid next year. I think we've had our fill of Wonder Kids this year. I think because the thing is, because of these Wonder Kids already being here now, no one's really going to get a look in. You've got to be looking to the under 23 and juniors and just see who has good results there. Not necessarily steps up and starts beating the pros straight away, but look at them guys who are setting themselves apart in the under 23s and worlds. Who that's going to be, I have no idea. If you've got any ideas though, leave them down below. Next up, is Mathieu van der Poel going to win all the crosses he'll participate in? Yes. You know who Joe is, right? Yeah, I do, yeah. And next up, the question that gets asked every single bloody week: when is the podcast back? According to Cam, December. All right. Next up, how do you lower the difficulty settings on Tinder? Well, I mean, feel free to use my face as a profile picture, and then let me know your results. Enjoy. Ooh, here's a good question. Favorite conspiracy theory? It has to be. Do you know what? I was going to say it has to be the Froome conspiracy theory, but I shouldn't give them airtime. I really shouldn't give them airtime. I should just strangle them metaphorically and just let them die. But remember in La Vuelta when Rigoberto Urán, Hugh Carthy, Delaporte and Nico Roach were all involved in what the press said was a massive crash, right? They said it was a massive crash. But there was a troll, nothing more than a troll, was calling me out like I had something to do with it, about the fact that there was no footage and no proof that these riders were involved in this crash. Now, I don't care one way or the other whether this is a conspiracy or not, but he was adamant, and I mean adamant, that this is a conspiracy theory and that you shouldn't believe anything because there is no proof of it. Now, he does have a point in the fact that there's no physical evidence of this crash happening, but we've got riders posting pictures of injuries across their Instagram. I'm not getting into it, but that is, what do you think to that? Has anybody else even heard that that is a conspiracy theory? That these riders involved in this crash? But think about that, right? Think about how stupid it is to think it is a conspiracy theory. Because that means during that stage, all 4 riders must have been pulled out. If what this guy's saying, this troll's saying, is true, these riders started the race and then said, right, you're all banned, you've been caught for doping, all right? So what we need you to do is, we need you to ride halfway and then all get together and then just stop, hide as quick as you can, and then pretend you've crashed, all right? And then you get your ban and then you'll be back and then everything will be fine. Come on. If all 4 riders didn't take to the start line straight away that morning, maybe you'd have something. But yeah, that conspiracy theory. Let me know down in the comments below. Had you ever heard of it? Do you believe it? I don't know. Hill climb season or cyclocross? Both just as horrible as each other, I guess. If it's one as a spectator, I would say cyclocross. If it's one as a participant, I would say cyclocross. Do you know what? More and more I see cyclocross races, and the more I get into like gravelly style riding, the more I actually want to do a cyclocross race. I'll be absolutely useless at it, but I really want to do one. But I just don't have a bike. If anybody wants to hook me up with one, I'll race. All right, and that's it for another show. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed it. If you've disliked it, hit that dislike button. I don't care. But please, above all else, just leave a comment down below. Let us know how you're getting on. Let us know what you think to the stories. Just let us know anything. In a bit.